So welcome back to another video, guys. Welcome back to another adventure, and welcome to Ben Nevis. I'm just opposite the visitor centre here at the base of Ben Nevis, the UK's highest mountain. All I've done so far today is walk out of the town and up the valley, a little bit up the glen. Had some lovely views down the valley towards the moors. Today what we're going to do is we're going to take the mountain path up Ben Nevis. I'll come back a little bit later on in the video as to whether we're going to summit it or not, but for now I'm going to head up the path and get a bit of altitude and a bit of distance under our belt, so I'll catch you a little bit further up the trail. So I've just come up the first little bit of path there, and we're just at the actual base of the official mountain path, and just over here at my left we've got the Ben Nevis Inn and bunkhouse, which is getting some work done to it currently. Seen some folk going up the hill already, which is nice to see. I have to say the weather is a bit ominous today so far, and there is quite a lot of wind. That's part of the reason why we're not going to summit, so I'll come back to that a little bit later on. But yeah, it is actually still a nice day. The weather's supposed to improve by the winds. It's supposed to clear up, and yesterday afternoon was a good example of what is expected to be today, and it was complete blue sky, sun was out, it was absolutely lovely. We've had a real drastic change in our weather here over the past week. A week ago we had snow. It was negative temperatures every day, -10 and stuff overnight, and yeah, it was snow on the ground. The whole Ben was completely white, and now today, yesterday was probably about +12. Today is forecast to be 6 or 7, I think, dry. So I'm expecting the ground to be quite wet up here because of the snow melt, but beyond that we're expected quite good weather. So I'm going to carry on up the path, get some ground under us, and I'll catch back with you a little bit further up there, and I might explain why we're not going quite to the summit today. So I'm just going to stop here for a wee breather, take a seat, and you can see the path going up behind me there. Oh, just jump onto here. There we go. You can see the path heads up that way. It's actually a lovely view up the valley there. Got the hills in the background. Path's not too bad. We've got a bit of a incline steep bit again coming up here in a second. We're not very high up yet at all, but it's about an hour walk out of Fort William to the Ben Nevis Visitor Centre, where I started the official walk, and that was the bit that's, I think, a bit of a killer, having to march out on a road to get to your start point is never fun. But we're going to keep heading up and get up to the halfway lock-in at the very least. So I don't really like to be a particularly negative person, but I have a problem with people coming into the hills ill-prepared. And I don't want to intentionally pick on the specific people I've just seen, but a few people have just walked past me, and waving trainers, no real kit. There was a couple that came up with, one of them was wearing a puffy jacket, the other had a backpack that looked like it had nothing in it and was wearing just like a town coat. And I have a bit of a problem with that because I have respect for the mountain rescue teams that have to come out and save people. And although we've got a well-maintained path and we're just out the town and it's a dry day, it's a clear day, it's still the mountains, and it's still the UK's biggest mountain, and this mountain alone, Ben Nevis, takes a lot of lives every year. And I just don't like seeing people coming out with such little kit and ill preparedness, in particular trainers, in particular not waterproof jackets. Something goes wrong, and I guarantee they'll be going to the summit today. And as I'll explain a little bit later, I don't know whether they should be or not. And if something goes wrong, they're screwed. There's no doubt about that. And then the mountain rescue team will end up coming out, as they do ever so often. So, you know, I've got a big bag on. I've got spare layers, I've got working layers, I've got survival shelters, I've got stuff, because I know how things can go wrong. I know that people like that come out on the hill as well. So I'm not trying to pick on those people in particular. I just want to kind of emphasize that if you're going to come out into the hills, especially the big hills, the mountains like this, please carry appropriate kit. And if you'd like to see some videos on the sort of kit I carry and the things that maybe you should consider carrying, let me know. I'd be happy to do that. I'd be happy to get some other people in to do things on that as well. So yeah, just got a lovely stream coming down here. We crossing, nothing too bad, everything's out the water, and we'll keep heading on up the path, and I'll catch back with you later on. One thing I want to make clear though, guys, I'm by no means an expert. I've only been in this outdoor game for so long. I don't know everything, so don't take everything I say as the right way to do it or anything like that. I am just saying, and there is advice from the mountain rescue teams as well as actual experts in the field, all agreeing that kit is important, and correct appropriate kit is the right way to do this. And yeah, a little bit of a rant, it's a little bit of a pet peeve of mine, folk not taking the kit that they should have, especially when folk like myself are carrying the kit. It's a little bit like, well, why am I carrying the kit if they're getting away with, you know, not? Why am I bothering? And well, part of me actually says, because when I get up to the top of this hill and they're standing there hypothermic, I can try and help them as well, so it's not just about myself. But yeah, anyway, rant over. Let's keep going up this hill. So we're on the zigzaggy bit of the path now. We're about 2 hours in. That's from leaving the accommodation this morning. I think we're about halfway up this zigzag now. And then we'll be at the halfway lock and decide I'm going to take a wee break here, have a wee snack, get a drink, and then we'll carry on. This is killer. It's like just a staircase the whole way up. This bit, it's quite hard going. The other folk have shot up it, but I have not. We're getting some nice views down the valley just now. Got a view of Moolach, Macarene, done that one as part of uni. Staban, one of the other ones, we've got the Memorials all up there with some cloud rolling over the tops, although Nevis is actually clear, interestingly. The weather seems to be over there. The hills on the far side of Loch Linney are covered in cloud, and it's pretty dark clouds, and they're whipping over, but I don't think it'll be raining, but it'll be moist at the top. So while I'm stopped here, I thought I would just explain why I'm humming and hawing about the summit, and it just comes down to the weather. The forecast was showing gusts up to 40-45 miles an hour, and that's right at the top end of kind of my personal limit for being exposed on a summit. And whilst Nevis isn't like a pointy summit, it's quite flat, it's still very exposed, and at that height that's quite strong winds. The decision I'm going to make is, once I get to the halfway lock-in, we'll decide whether we go up or not. And either way, we're going to be going down, as I said, via the CIC hut and down the North Face path. So I'm just at the halfway lock-in here. As you can see, the wind's picked up a little bit now that we're a bit more exposed, but the sun has come out. It's absolutely glorious. Had the sun all the way up that last stretch. I've made the decision that the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have some lunch. So I'm going to nip just over this hill, this hump here, see if I can't hide myself behind a rock out of this wind, and sit and have lunch. It's currently 12:10. I thought this would be a good place to have a bite to eat. So we'll go find somewhere a bit sheltered, and then I'll chat to you about my decision for summiting or not. So just found a little bank here on the lee side away from the wind. So we'll stop here. Oh, yeah. Got a wee sit mat, so I'm not so worried about wet grass. And immediately what I'm going to do is get some layers on, because I've been sweating all the way up, and I'm going to cool down when I stop here. So lunch. So I'm just going to throw on my lovely Decathlon down jacket. You'll need to bear with me a minute, because the microphone is going to get a bit messed up here. There we go. And the other thing is I will just throw on a hat, keep my head warm. You lose a lot of body heat out of your head, so warm hat. And now we'll just sit down and take a break here. It's a lovely view actually out that way. I'll spin you around here in a minute. Lovely view. Down onto the lock-in, which is baked in the sun currently, and then out onto the hills beyond. So, the decision I have made. I've decided not to summit. Now, a couple of reasons. First off, primarily, is the wind. So it wasn't, I thought as I was coming up that last stretch that I would get away with summiting, and I was kind of very keen to. But then, as we just got up to the halfway lock and up into the flat open ground, that wind has really picked up, and it's enough here, not here, but up where I was. It was just bearing on, some of the gusts were bearing on, pushing you off your feet. and that's here. There's at least a couple hundred meters to the summit, and the wind is supposed to worsen as the day goes on. Equally, looking at the clouds and stuff, there's a lot of bad weather rolling in, and I don't want to get, and it's hitting the top. In fact, I'm looking at a very, very dark cloud off there, and I don't want to get caught in that. So I'm going to cut my losses for the summit, and we'll just continue with the rest of the walk that I had planned, which was to head that way along the path, which will take me back to take me down to the CIC hut on the north face of the Ben, and then from there we'll go down the path back down to the north face car park area, and then I'm actually going to walk back in via the Puggy line, and that'll still be a good day out. It'll actually be a QMD. I'm going to record this as a QMD from my mountain leader training. It'll get recorded on my D-log with all the details. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit here for half an hour, 45 minutes, enjoy the view, get a break out the wind, have some lunch, chill out, get some energy back, warm up, and then we'll get on our way. So I will bring you back as we start our descent back towards the CIC hut. But for now, lunch. I don't know how well you can hear me, guys. Really quite windy. So I had my lunch there, and I've set off on the path towards the CIC hut. And I'm 100% agreeing with my decision to not summit, because this wind is getting stronger. As I sat and had lunch, the wind got stronger and the conditions are worsening, definitely. There's the summit up that way. I'm in the way. Up that way is the summit. But yeah, the conditions, in my opinion, are definitely worsening. So I am happy to cut my losses on the summit, definitely. As you can see, I'm wrapped up more now. Gloves are on, hats on, jackets on. It's chilly up here. Hopefully, and it should be the case, when we drop over this ridge in a minute, down underneath the north face, it should clear up. Not clear up, the wind should die off completely, actually. So we'll see. What I'm going to do, keep heading on, and unless anything interesting happens, I'll probably catch you at the CIC hut. I'll see you there. So we've dropped down this side of the kind of flat plateau. We've got the north face up behind us there, just looking majestic as always. We're going to be heading along the path underneath it, up into the quarry in the back. You can't quite see the CIC hut from here. We've got the river flowing down, quite a lot of water in the river by the looks of it. And then, as you can see, the path winds its way up and down the valley on the other side of the river. That's the path we're going to go down in probably about an hour's time. So yeah, I thought this was just a nice thing to show you. Up behind us we've got round the corner we've got the Carmore Gerrig Arret, which is the ridge route you can take up the Ben. And then of course we've got the other mountains, which I'll put the names on screen there for you. But beyond that, head along this path, keep moving, keep warm. So folks, it's been quite a while since I have done a bit to camera. We are way down now. As I was coming round underneath the north face, the conditions changed and the wind was absolutely howling over the Carmore Gerrig Arret, which you actually can't see anymore, and coming straight down the valley, and too windy to film. But also, I didn't want to keep going in the headwind towards the CIC hut. So actually what I did was I cross-countryed a little bit and I did a wee river crossing of the stream. And then I just jumped onto the path here, the North Face path, and I've come down it. So we're just at the start of the woodland bit here. We're going to descend down the woods, through the woods, almost to the North Face car park, and then we're going to take a left down onto the Puggy line, and then from there that'll take us down past the Fort William aluminium factory, where I think will be the next time I'll see you, and I will end the video there, and then we'll just head back into Fort William. So for now, I'm going to carry on down the path, nursing a bit of a sore shin. Well, my lower leg is a bit sore, my left leg. I think I've done something to it on the way down today, but we'll take our time, we'll head down, and I'll see you somewhere, either on the Puggy line or at the aluminium factory. So guys, that is us literally just at, or just before the aluminium factory. It's just there, and from there it's just a plod back through the town. So we're going to end the video here. Great day out. The weather has changed and gone completely off the forecast, I have to say, but beyond that it was a lovely day. Obviously I didn't get to the summit, but you know what, I prefer not summiting a mountain and staying safe than summiting it and risking getting blown off the top, quite frankly, today, because that wind was incredibly strong. So yeah, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take 5 here and then head back into town. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, leave a like for me, and if you're new here, might as well subscribe for more adventures. But for now, all that is left for me to do is say see you in the next one, and bye for now.